representative from Rockcastle County says teachers are facing issues with phones in their classrooms.
As he tells our Samantha Valentino, that's why he has filed a new bill that would ban students from using phones during classes. That is our top story at 5:30.
Representative Josh Bray says the idea for House Bill 383 came from a teacher he met at his son's away basketball game.
And he told me, the biggest issue he's got right now are cell phones in the classroom, and he feels like it's a huge distraction.
The teacher told him that while he's trying to teach his students math, he's competing for their attention against apps like TikTok and YouTube.
It was very frustrating and just felt like it was something that needed to be addressed in education.
So he filed a bill that would largely ban the use of cell phones in Kentucky classrooms.
It requires each district to have a policy that ensures that cell phones aren't out in the classroom. We've got some exceptions in there.
Those include instances where teachers want to integrate cell phones into their lessons, emergencies, or if a student is authorized to use them under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. Laura Hartkey is an organizer with the Teachers Union Kentucky 120 United AFT. She says some teachers have concerns about the bill.
I know of several just of our members and teachers in general who have been stabbed with pencils over trying to get a cell phone. And so what's going to happen there?
Hartkey says she feels the bill likely has good intentions. However, she has questions about how these policies would be enforced.
How does this new bill get those phones out of the hands of students without alienating parents and students even further? And what consequences are there? And who's going to take those consequences? Is it going to be on the teacher's back, the admin, the district?
In Frankfort, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
House Bill 383 has not been assigned to a committee at this point. We'll keep watch on that. And for more on the bill and to read it for yourself, you can head over to this story on WKYT.com or our WKYT News app.